MandoBug Crafts, episode 18. I am MandoBug, also known as Amanda. Welcome new viewers, and thanks for coming back, returning viewers. I really appreciate it a lot. Thank you. And Happy New Year! Today is the 1st. I don't normally record on Wednesdays, but I thought, since I'm doing the New Year's giveaway, I figured I'd just go ahead and wait until New Year's Day. And let me just go ahead and say I'm super excited for the new year. I didn't have the best year last year, so I'm really hoping this year will be better. So, starting out with something I learned. So, I hope you guys all had a really good holiday season, because I definitely did. I have the most amazing mother-in-laws ever. Let me just go ahead and say that. So, that has something to do with something I learned. I have learned to do a little bit of tatting. Yes, I constantly walk by tatting supplies in craft stores, and I just I want to know how to do it, and I can never get myself around to purchasing the startup equipment. And it's not like it's expensive. I think I spent like $30 overall to start out, and that's with books. So I don't know, I never got around to it. So because of this holiday season and gifts and loveliness, I picked up this book, Learn to Tat. It's one of the Annie's books, which is awesome. And it comes with a DVD. So I was able to put the DVD in and follow along in the lessons. It's an awesome little book. I haven't gotten very far in it. It teaches you the basics. So you use a shuttle like this. And, I mean, they come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Well, maybe not sizes, but I got plastic. There were wooden ones. I got the plastic because you could get 2 for the same price as the wooden one. So, but you load it up with thread, and you make these loops with the thread on this hand. And you do, you're going in and out of the loops, basically, with your shuttle. And there's an under hitch and an over hitch, which are the 2 moves that create a stitch. And you're really just making stitches in a circle and then tightening it. So you get stuff that looks like this. One of my beginner pieces. And you can do that in a long row for a nice little edging. You can see, kind of like on the bookmark right here. And the cool thing about this book is all of the patterns on the book are in the book. So you can see these little butterflies right here. I tried to make one, and it took me a while to get a hang of the stitches and starting new loops and closing loops, and I got this far, so I just needed to finish this last wing, but I ran out of thread in the shuttle, and I hadn't gotten to the part in the book yet about how to add more thread, so I had to stop. But it's a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to be able to make stuff like this. I picked up this book, Tatted Jewelry, and this is really cute, and all of the jewelry on the back. So I'm really excited. It's got beads in it, and it's just gorgeous. So I'm really looking forward to being able to do that, but it's nice to learn a new craft. I forgot how frustrating it is sometimes when you're starting out, and it's just awkward in your hands. You get really angry. Well, I get really angry. So that's something I learned this week. Moving on to works in progress. So I have been working on my sock for the Philia socks, and I really thought I'd have it done by now, but I kind of got hung up on the bottom. So here's my progress. I got all the way down the top of the sock. You can see my little crazy cables, and then they come down to it. Well, get this out of the way. They come down to a nice little point down here, and then I have to finish off the toe. Here's my little heel. And so now I have to, and they fit amazing, by the way. They're a nice snug fit without being uncomfortable or hard to get on, and I really like tight socks. I don't like loose socks. So I'm down to the decreases on the toe, decrease 2 stitches every other row, but I stopped because I kind of got confused on where to put the decreases because the beginning of the round changed, and I've been picking it up and putting it down so much. But I'm going to sit down probably either today or tomorrow and figure out where they need to go and finish it off, because I only got about 2 more inches, and I'll have my first finished adult sock, and then I can start number 2. I'm really excited. So I'm enjoying this guy, and I started another Viking hat. So the Viking hat I had made previously is by Mint Cat, and it's cool because the pattern's kind of expensive, but it comes in like a million sizes. So I'm making the toddler size, and I'm gonna make the base first and see if it fits my friend's son's head, because he kind of's got a big head, but he's only like, he's almost 2. So the toddler size I think is 2 to 3 years, so it should fit him. Actually, it might even be 2 to 4 or 5. I'm not sure, but so we're gonna try that out on him. It's nice to do some crochet because I've been doing so much knitting because it's new to me. I've been obsessed with it. So I've also been working a lot on cross stitch. So I haven't touched my winter sampler, but I've been working like crazy on Mr. Snowman. I don't know, hopefully you can't see through him, but I've done a lot of the border. You can see the purple hanging off there, and I've come down and done his body and arms, and I started the top of the banner that says "Let It Snow." It's a cross stitch pattern out of this book. He will look like this when I get done. It's so cute. I think, you know, like long-term goals, I want to make every snowman in this book and then give them out to different families. Keep one for myself, send one to Josh's mom, Josh's dad, and then my parents, and I don't know. There's one more. Maybe my uncle will get one. But that will take a really long time. So that's like super duper long-term goals. But yeah, I really like the way he's turning out, and I couldn't put him down. I just kept going and going. It's a nice little project to do while you're watching TV or listening to music or stuff like that. You don't have to pay super attention, just minor attention. Oh, and then I started doing a lot of sewing this week. My brother's girlfriend is pregnant, and they're having a baby in March, and I'm really super duper excited. I'm going to be an aunt. They're having a little girl, so I started making some blankets. I like to go through the remnants bins at fabric stores, and you'll always see this really nice soft stuff. I don't know what it's called, but it's amazingly soft, and it's kind of expensive, and so it's really awesome when you can get it on super duper sale in the remnants bin. So every now and then I'll see some in there and I'll pick it up. It's usually about a yard, which is perfect for baby blankets. So I knew I had this purple in my stash, and so when I was at the fabric store the other day, I found this really cute flannel pattern, and so I went ahead and got some, and I've sewn it into here. I'll back up so you can see the size of the blankets. Oh, maybe you can't even see them all, but it's a nice size blanket with curved edges. I'm not done because I sewed it inside out and I flipped it. I still have to close up the opening and then do a top stitch around so it doesn't just randomly open on itself. This is a free pattern that I used that I found off a blog. So if you guys are interested, it will be in my linked show notes on my blog. So you can check it out. So I made this one, and I also made another one with the same kind of fuzzy soft material, but it's in pink. And I found this flannel print. Is it this way? It's super cute with, you know, elephants and turtles, and then the soft pink inside. This is the softest stuff ever. I don't know what it is. It's not organic material. It's gotta be something totally made up, but it's so soft. So I'm gonna be sending her a box with a bunch of stuff I've made for her and the baby, so I'm really excited about that. So moving on to finished objects. I don't have any this week. I guess I just started a bunch of new projects and didn't get around to finishing any that I had already had in progress. So, moving on. So, going to check it out. So, you know how I mentioned my awesome mother-in-laws? For the holidays, I was fortunate enough to receive this book. Sew, Jelly Roll, Quilt, and Gifts. And this book is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. It also came with a jelly roll. Of course. So I started sewing it. I picked a pattern in here called, what's it called? Autumn Floor. And I guess I can show you the picture. This is what the quilt looks like. But of course, you know, it's going to look different because I'm using different colors. I could tell she picked the jelly roll out for me because it was very Halloween colors. Like when it was all rolled up, it was mostly orange and purple. So if you don't know, jelly rolls are pre-cut fabric that come, they're usually like 2.5 inches tall, and then they're various lengths. I don't know width, I get my width and length backwards, but you got the idea. The dimensions are like 2.5, between 2.5 and like, I don't know, 20 inches. I don't remember what mine was, but the book tells you if you're interested. So my progress so far is I've got these squares, and they all kind of look the same, but they're different because they're the same color, but the pattern on the fabric is different. So they will all match up but be just a little bit different. And so you don't need to see them all because they all kind of look the same. But I will be sewing those 4 together, and then they get like a black border. This material, this black in the square that you can see with the swirls on it, that's going to border all of the squares, and then there's going to be like purple squares in the corner that matches the purple fabric. So, well, actually it's not this purple fabric, it's this purple fabric in the center of the square. Kind of looks like trees. But I'm really excited. This will, like, I plan on finishing this quilt, and I've never finished a quilt before. And it's going to be about, like, flap throw size, because the jelly roll that I got only had 20 pieces, and the full-size quilts are meant for 40-piece jelly rolls. But I don't care. I mean, it's still going to be, like, 4.5 feet by 4.5 feet. So, it'll be perfect for the couch and for my lap. So, yeah, this book is awesome if you're into looking for some quick quilts. And I say quick quilting because it's mostly already cut for you because you're buying jelly rolls and you're using jelly rolls. So there's, I don't know, probably like 10 or so patterns in here, and I really did like them all. I picked the autumn one because I felt like it would go best with the fabric that I received. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be making my way through a lot of these quilts in here. The one that I really liked, but I know is going to take a lot of time, so I'm going to wait on that one. And it would also probably be really good for scrap busting. I'm trying to get to it. I know it's near the back here. I should have bookmarked it. I'm sorry. Come on. Here it is. This quilt. It's all these tiny little squares and like checkered marks. So I know that will take a long time, but I do want to make that one. But there's a bunch of other lovely quilts in here too, so I love it. Moving on to current events. So finally, I've been so excited and waiting and waiting and waiting. The Mystery Knit Along Tentacowl by Lily Go has started, and I already managed to mess it up. So, if you're working on this and you don't want to see my progress, I finished clue 1, so, you know, I guess, spoiler alert. But, so you might want to fast forward, because I'm going to share my progress. But, so, the cast on is kind of long, and you put a bead on every stitch. And I had never done a beaded cast on before, and I had never done this kind of cast on before either. I don't remember what it was called, but it was new to me. And the beaded cast on took forever. And there were pictures on how to properly do it, and then the last picture was, don't do it like this. I didn't read any of it. I just looked at the pictures, and I looked at the last one, and I was like, oh, okay, that's what it's supposed to look like. Totally not reading the note next to it that said, not like this. So mine looks a little bit different than it's supposed to. I'll go ahead and show you. So the beaded cast on here, I'll stand up so I can see, is not supposed to have yarn across the bottom of the beads. I was supposed to slip the bead onto that part of the yarn, and it was just supposed to be beads hanging along the bottom and the stitches on top of it. So I messed it up, but I don't think it looks bad. It's just different than what the designer intended. So I'm glad I'm not the only person that did it that way, because somebody else in the forums did too, and so I didn't feel as bad. But other than that, this is a really pretty pattern. I guess she said there's no more beads in the pattern, so I'm interested to see how this is going to turn out. But it's a very textural lace pattern, which she had mentioned. I just had never used twisted stitches before, and they really pop out. I don't know, like here, these are twisted stitches, and they really stand out from the lace, like 3D wise. And I thought that was really cool. And it was funny because technically knitting through the back loop is new to me, but it's really not, because I was doing it on accident when I first learned to knit. And so, so when I realized there's a front loop and a back loop in knitting, because I started crocheting, and when you crochet, there's 2 loops on your stitch, and you go through both of them. So there's a definite front loop and a definite back loop. And I'm looking at these knitted stitches going, there's no front loop and back loop, there's just 1 loop. So it didn't even occur to me that it definitely matters whether you are entering the stitch from the front of your needle or the back. So, but I'm totally loving this. I'm using Dream Color Smushy with Cashmere in the Bronze Lake colorway, and it is gorgeous. And these beads that I got are iridescent, and so they shine crazy colors on top of this yarn, and I think it's going to be lovely when it's all said and done. It's definitely my color scheme, so super duper excited, and I'm enjoying it. And the next clue comes out tomorrow, so I can't wait to work on it some more. So also for current events, I have to do the giveaway. So I had a lot of fun with this. There were probably like 30-ish entries, and since there weren't that many, I thought it would be cool to print out the posts and cut them up and put them in a bag. So I did. So this bag I also got for the holidays. I love it. One of my mother-in-laws has chickens and ducks, and this is their bag feed, their feed bag. And she kept it and cut it up and made a nice little bag out of it, and I absolutely love it. It's very thick, heavy duty, and you can see all the little papers in there. It's all the posts. So I'll go ahead and draw, mixing them up. I got one. So the winner of the New Year's giveaway is Post 21 by, I'm going to mess this up, Vernal Equinox. And her New Year's resolution is to knit some adult sweaters during 2014, starting with one for her husband, which I think is just completely awesome. So, Vernal Equinox, if you can just send me a message on Ravelry with your information so I can go ahead and get that off to Sunrise Fiber Company so we can get you in for the January Dessert Club yarn. Go ahead and make sure you add what kind of base that you want out of the list that I put on the post. And so yeah, I'm super excited. Congratulations. And I'm gonna be going ahead and getting myself some yarn, going to add myself to the subscription too. So I'm super duper excited. I already saw that there's been a post in the Works in Progress thread of some of their yarn, and it's just absolutely gorgeous, and I'm super excited to get my hands on some because it's beautiful. So yeah, New Year's giveaway, that was fun. So upcoming events, I don't know of any festivals or events or anything like that coming up, but as far as the Ravelry group goes, I wanted to go ahead and start a it's not really like a craft along, but like I want to have a finished objects thread where you guys can enter your finished objects of the month in there, objects that have been started and ended in that month. And I wanted to be like people go in and click love and it would be like voting So whoever gets the most votes will get a prize. And I'm thinking for January, the prize will just be a Ravelry pattern for under $10, or well, $10 or less. But I plan to have cooler prizes than that in the future. But since this will be the first month, I think I'm just going to start it out with a Ravelry pattern. But I would like it if people would post all kinds of projects. So not just knitting or crochet, but if you want to share your finished cross-stitch projects, your finished quilting projects, your finished tatting projects, really any finished project would be awesome. And it doesn't matter how many times you post in there because people will be voting for their favorite. So, and it doesn't matter how long it took you because people will be voting for their favorite again. So, yeah, people probably won't be voting for projects that are really simple and didn't take very long to make. They're going to be looking for the nice projects that took time and turned out beautifully. So I'm going to have more details on that in the thread once I start it, but I think that's going to be a thing. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys this episode. I haven't been doing a lot of crochet or knitting, but as you can tell, I've been really busy in all sorts of crafts, which, hey, it's MandoBug Crafts. So I hope you guys all have a happy new year, and I hope your holidays were great, and I will see you next week. Bye!